There's lots happening across the globe. But Parag bhai, I want to ask your opinion on this. Seemingly, the word was that there was a lot of uncertainty, and so people didn't want to take that position over the weekend. Don't know what's going to happen. How much attention are you paying to geopolitics closer to home?
Correct.
And how much weightage are you giving that when you're deciding whether to deploy right now?
So frankly speaking, see, what is happening near our border is actually very worrisome, and so I would like to keep some cash as a buffer so that if there is a big gap down opening, like what we saw in last 3 months, many times it has happened that there is a big gap down, and where you can pick and choose your stocks at your prices. And so that is the stance which I am following, and I am following the result season very, very closely and the commentaries of management, and I am finding many stocks which are becoming very, very attractive based on that. So some banks, for example, if you have seen
so private banks or PSU banks?
So up till now, PSU banks have hardly reported numbers, but the larger ones. But within private sector banks, ICICI, HDFC, we all know results were good. DCB results were good. RBL, you just were saying, right, that things are turning around. Yeah. IDFC First Bank also, Mr. Vaidyanathan has said that microfinance stress has peaked out. Even if, for example, in a bank like Axis Bank, if you see, although markets gave a thumbs down to the stock, the PE on FY27 is just 10x.
Which stock?
Axis Bank.
Okay. Axis Bank.
And price to book is just 1.5x with ROA of 1.7, 1.8%. And they have already called out that credit card portfolio is actually started to do well, and there is no further deterioration in asset quality in that. Only in personal loan, they have called out that few quarters it will take for asset quality to normalize. But I would say that at 10 PE with a CD ratio coming down to 89%, now they can grow ahead of system also.
So you're saying Axis Bank would be a strong pick for you in the public?
So I would, basically any pick which I say, of course, is there in my portfolio.
Sure.
And I am also buying gradually on dips, and I would recommend investors also to do so on dips and after taking advice from their financial advisors.
I do want to very quickly take your view on IDFC First specifically, because the numbers did look bad, and it's consistent underperformance relatively so, right? And that microfinance bugbear continues to trouble them. I know you've pointed out what Mr. Vaidyanathan has said, that it's peaked, but it is a problem, and it's not going to be resolved overnight. They're talking about elevated problems heading into the first half of this year as well, and it's going to be a soft period for them.
Yeah, so basically stock can correct today in my view, but the point is that they've raised 7,500 crores through that compulsorily convertible preference shares to Warburg and ADIA's private equity arm. I think that will give them good buffer. So their tier 1 should be above 16%, which will allow them to grow at 20% as what they have said. So I would say that, see, all these banks, for example, DCB I just saw, the stock price 127, EPS is for this year, trailing is 19.5, book value is 158, results were good, loan book grew by 25%. So I would say that, and plus, most importantly, I would like to say that what makes me positive on this particular theme is RBI's policy. See, RBI has been so accommodative, right? They have been infusing liquidity continuously. They have cut repo rates by 50 bips. They are trying whatever they can to drive growth in the system. So that is why you saw HDFC Bank CD ratio coming down to 96% from 100%. Axis Bank CD ratio coming down to 89% from 90 to 93%. This is a good development. They have operating leverage now. So if at all the situation the economy improves, they can grow now ahead of the system.